Over the last 4 decades, nearly 50 young women and girls have been murdered or just simply disappeared along a rural highway in Western Canada. Locals call it the Highway of Tears. Tomorrow night on 48 Hours, Peter Van Sant follows the trail to a suspect.
It's one of the most beautiful, most spectacular roads that you'll ever travel on. And suddenly you see one of these signs and you feel this foreboding on the road.
Investigative reporter Bob Friel says Highway 16, a remote 450-mile-long stretch of road in British Columbia, Canada, is a cruel place littered with broken dreams.
The Royal Canadian Mounted Police Force says that there's 18 victims. But if you talk to the local people, they believe the number is 33, 43, perhaps even more.
For this area we're coming into right now, we have 2 victims from this remote community.
Yes, we have one murdered young girl and one missing young lady.
It's Sergeant Wayne Clary's job to find the killers responsible for all this pain.
It's been said that the Highway of Tears is a perfect killing ground for someone because they can't hide their victims.
And I would add to what you just said, a perfect dumping ground.
The ages of the victims range from 12 to 33. Many are teens.
Hey, how's it going?
Don and Eldon Scott's 20-year-old daughter, Maddie, disappeared from this lake not far from the Highway of Tears.
To know that she disappeared from just a few feet away, that's devastating.
Doug Leslie, from a neighboring town, knew his 15-year-old daughter Lauren was in trouble when he got a late-night phone call.
Midnight, I get a call from the cops saying that, asking if Lauren was there. And I said, what's going on? He said, well, if Lauren's home, somebody's using her ID. So I thought that was kind of strange.
What does that mean, someone was using her ID?
Well, they found her ID in a vehicle.
Doug began driving along the Highway of Tears until he found police lights. His daughter's body had been discovered.
She was molested, beat over the head with a pipe wrench, and her throat was cut.
Who could do such a thing?
Not a human, for sure.
48 Hours spent months following the cases along the Highway of Tears. Now, after decades of despair, there is hope.
Peter, we have a major break in this case, and it involves an American.
Peter Van Sant joins us at the table. What a nice way to end that piece. That's a tease. What do authorities know about the American suspect?
His name is Bobby Jack Fowler. He lived in 11 different states in the United States, and there are ongoing investigations today in all of those. They believe he killed at least 7 women in Oregon, perhaps as many as 9 in Canada. And this man may end up being the next Ted Bundy.
Do they think that one person is responsible for the victims that you talked about in your story?
No, they do not. They think there may be another serial killer, and they think that this highway, with all the publicity it had garnered over the decades, was actually a magnet for killers.
And just the fact, Peter, that it's called the Highway of Tears is such a very sad way to describe it. In your piece, you said it's because it's a lonely, isolated area. Is there other reasons why they call it that?
Simply because of all the women who've disappeared, all the pain that's been caused. And we traveled thousands of miles during the course of this, literally thousands of miles, meeting all of these families. This suspect comes at the end of our story, was a shock to everyone and a happy ending to this.
All right, 48 Hours on Saturday. Thank you, Peter Van Sant.